We're going to watch Harry Sapporta's latest presentation to the Trimet Board of Directors, affectionately known as Trimet Board of Sock Puppets. We're going to watch Harry's latest presentation, and I'm going to offer my insightful commentary. But before we get to Harry's presentation, I wanted to do a little plug for one of my buddies, the Deacon in Blue, who does a great blog called From the Driver's Side. And we can't identify him because he's working at Trimet, and Trimet has a very dim view of their employees speaking negatively about them. And a lot of people look at my experience as being kind of the quintessential, look what happens when you speak out. However, my experience was not really, you can't look at what happened to me at Trimet as any kind of standard, because I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff. This is 5 years ago. I've been gone from there, and I look back at it. It was a playground for me. It's true. I don't even want to go over it again, but that job ended up turning into my hobby, and it's still my hobby. It's not my job anymore, but it's still my hobby. But people like Dan and myself found ourselves in hot water for making public statements that the Trimet management didn't like. And the Deacon in Blue remains anonymous because he doesn't want to end up in that kind of hot water. Now, let me also say that the Deacon from the Driver's Side blog and Dan's are actually literature. They're literature. When they write actual literature. My stuff is not anywhere in that category of material. My stuff is more or less something off the top of my head at the moment, and I'm collecting the material. I have a collection of Trimet material like you would collect coins. And so it's more of a hobby for me versus literature. So I want to make sure that you check out his excellent blog From the Driver's Side. Okay, let's get right into Harry and see what his bullshit is for today.
Preventing operator assaults. To date, we've placed over 700 bus operators through our training program.
So here we already began by showing you once again how what they do is send drivers to a training program. Now, it is true that a lot of drivers do kind of get these situations going by stressing about fares, which is a no-no, okay? Any experienced driver will tell you, don't stress about the fares. It is not worth your aggravation, and it is not worth your physical health to deal with fare scofflaws, okay? They have people in white shirts making $35 an hour to do. It's not your problem. Don't take it personally when somebody doesn't pay the fare. It turns into this ego contest between a driver and a person. You got to get over. If you want to survive as a bus driver, you have to stop taking things personally, because you'll never survive if you actually take everything that a rider says to you personally. You're finished at this job. So we see already that they sent people to training, and I'm sure it's somewhat helpful. But before we make judgments, let's continue listening.
And as I reported before, the feedback that we're getting is that the operators see this as being very positive. They're being provided with tools to de-escalate situations. And
yeah, tools. You're getting tools. Tools.
And I'm confident that we're going to be seeing a reduction. It's still too early to tell what the impact is, but I'm confident we're going to see a reduction in that.
All right, cut the right there, because you need tools, but you also need policies. Policies such as don't bother us with the fares. Okay, it should be very clearly defined if they want people to do it. Somebody doesn't pay the fare, your job is to hit that button, fare evasion, okay? If Trimet doesn't have a fare response team, it's tough. It's not your problem that they don't have people to deal with this. It's not your problem. Don't even inform them. When I was driving, whatever they put in the fare box, they got a ticket. I didn't care whether it was a nickel or $1 or $5. I gave them a ticket. If somebody paid a fare, they got a ticket. And whatever they showed me, I accepted. I didn't care if it was even if it wasn't a Trimet ticket. I didn't care, because I was smart enough to know it's not my problem. I'm not going to stress over this shit. And the thing is that like 90% of people are very honest. It's the 10% of people that aren't honest that can ruin your day. But why let them? Just ignore them. Who are they? They're nothing to you. They're nobodies.
One of the other things that we've been working on fairly significantly is looking at the existing SOPs to see exactly what is the role of the operator in fare collection. And with the assistance of the Security Continuous Improvement Team, we evaluated that and made several recommendations to revising the SOPs. And that has gone through the review process now and has been finalized, and that will be issued to all bus operators to clarify the role and responsibility. What its aim is to reduce the incidence of a fare dispute. And I think we have successfully done that in word. Now it has to translate into action on the part of the bus operator as well. So,
well, I believe that what he's talking about, and we heard this, if you follow my Twitter feed, and I know most people don't pay any attention, but there's about 20 people that actually follow this stuff along with me. We're all geeks and interested in this. You heard Jason Bynum, who's a dispatcher, did a call, which I posted. Did I put it on the blog? I think I actually did put it on the blog, where he said, don't challenge the fare. The new policy will be don't challenge the fare. You hit the button and that's it. Now that's what you need to do. See, it took them how many years? I mean, this. I guess people aren't smart enough to figure it out for themselves, which is a shame, because it doesn't say much for the people driving the bus that you need Trimet to tell you this. I mean, I can understand why the government would not say don't enforce the fare, because then nobody will enforce the fare. But since people don't show judgment, they have to actually put it in a codified regulation and tell you not to do it, because people don't understand. People just can't figure out that most of the regulations that are in place are only there for when you need them. They're not there to be used all the time. I mean, ask any police officer on the road about the rules. They'll tell you right to your face that we don't enforce 90% of the laws. We only enforce them when we need to. And that's because they can't put everybody in jail. And it's the same thing here. You can't. All those regulations are there for when you need them. They're not to be enforced on a day-to-day basis. But apparently, drivers can't figure this out, so Trimet goes to the next step and actually says, don't mess with the fares. And as Harry said, are people going to do it? That's the whole other thing. Well, we can't help that Trimet doesn't know how to hire people, and this has been an issue since I've been involved. I don't know where they come up with some of their hiring criteria, but they're some of the most bizarre people I've ever seen behind the wheel. I look at them and talk to them, and I'm like, what? How the hell did you ever get a job here? But, I've always theorized that Trimet hires based on demographics. They're trying to present this neoliberal, look at us, we're so diversified, and we have this many people from this continent, that many people from that continent, this many old people, this many young people, this many, I've always theorized that's what they're actually doing, and they don't really view the job as a bus operator as a profession. They view it as a unskilled labor that you can just throw one out and get another one. It's a neoliberal idea, and they disrespect the operators too. So, I mean, in their minds, these technocrats think that the operators are basically a piece of equipment.
We'll be monitoring that fairly significantly, or very closely rather. The barriers are installed. We are training our...
Yes, the bus barriers are finally arrived in Portland. I mean, what a sad day for Portland. I mean, Portland, as I knew it, was over 2 years ago for me, and Portland had been over for a while. And, when I moved there in 1995, 94, I think it was really a cool place, and now the money has come in. And, money ruins everything. It's the truth. I mean, money, the quest for money and money itself, it just ruins everything. And here we are, Portland has finally gone down to the level of bus barriers for their operators, and that's just it's just terrible. I can't even imagine. I'm glad I'm not in the profession, not just for that, many reasons, but especially for that. I mean, one of the things I really loved about that job was the people, you open that door and these people come by you that you never would have met in any other venue in life. It's just one of the most fascinating jobs you could possibly have before they neoliberalized it. You know, back in the day, that was a great job. It really was. Now it's been neoliberalized, which means you're commodified. And Portland, which I never thought I'd see the day where Portland would have gone down to the level it's gone down. And even with the bus barriers, it's gotten so bad in Portland, it's just as bad as some places like Chicago now.
Continuous improvement team members on how to use it so that they can be a representative and work with the workforce in how to most effectively use the barriers. So that is currently underway. The next step is really then to get the feedback from the bus operators themselves to see whether or not they like it, what are the pluses and what are the minuses in using the barrier, and then hopefully working with the manufacturer to address some of the operator concerns, and then perhaps moving forward and placing many more barriers in buses. So that's kind of where we are right now. There's still more work to be done, but this is this current state.
I guess that's as good as it gets, right? I don't know. I mean, Henry Beasley should do a response to this. Henry, do a response to this.